residing from New York, New York, weighing in at 220 pounds, he's your current WWE champion, the Movie!
Hello everyone, it's the Metal Geek. How you all doing? As you can see, I beat AJ Styles for his WWE Championship belt. That's right, I beat AJ Styles in a dark match on SmackDown, and this is just a really awesome replica belt, isn't it? Yeah, it's a replica belt. But guys, let's take a look at this thing because, man, does it look great. This belt, to say, looks almost exactly like the actual WWE Championship belt. I mean, right down to almost every finite detail, but there are a few differences and we will talk about that in a few moments. But first, let's take a look at the detail in this replica belt. As you can see, the plates are immensely awesome. It pretty much has all the same details as the actual belt. I mean, this replica actually has the same number of gemstones as the actual belt itself, so that is actually paying attention to some really finite details there. It has the whole front plate on it, and it has the side plates on it, and they look great. I mean, there isn't a whole lot else to say. These just look really, really good. Okay, I gotta be a little honest here, guys. I've been trolling you just a little bit, as I've been referring to this as a replica belt. And I haven't really, well, divulged which replica belt this is. There are actually 4 different replicas for this belt. The question is which one is this? In all honesty, I wanted to see how many people would guess that this is the, well, $400 model that goes on the WWE.com shop. And if not, would people think that this is the $200+ commemorative belt? Well, guys, it's none of the above, as this is the $100 Jakks Pacific authentic replica belt. Authentic, of course, in how it looks, not so much in the actual materials used to make it. And I'm sure some of you probably picked up on it really quick that this wasn't the $400 belt. You probably noticed that the plates on the side don't have the screws. Now, the $400 model lets you change out the plates. So basically you unscrew the actual plates that are on there and you put in a plate of your liking, which is going to be based around the wrestler like AJ Styles or The Undertaker or Shawn Michaels or basically whoever. So if you're like, I don't have the screws, then you probably realize this wasn't the $400 model. However, this could easily be mistaken for the $200 commemorative belts, which pretty much are made of mostly the same material. The $400 replicas actually have metal plates. It's zinc alloy. And the leather that they use for those $400 belts, well, it's not the leather that they use for the actual belt itself. It's still a really nice leather. The commemorative version of the belt is meant to be kind of the budget belt. It uses the same leather strap as the $400 replica, but all of the plates are hard plastic. And metallic paint is used to make it look like it's metal. Now on the commemorative version of the belt, the snaps are actually metal. And it's actually stitched on. But that's where things get interesting with this Jakks Pacific version. Those commemorative belts run $200 to $230. This Jakks Pacific version is $100. It's using a very similar hard plastic mold for the plates, and it does have the metal snaps on it. And if you look here, those straps are actually stitched on. The only real difference between this and the $200 commemorative belt is that the gems are individually placed in, where on this particular version, it's molded in. Which is actually nice, because that does kind of mean that the commemorative version has a slight problem where the gems sometimes pop out and you have to basically re-glue them back in, and they give you replacement gems to actually do that. But this one you don't have to worry about the gems popping out because they are actually molded into the plastic. I kind of think that's an improvement. And here on the side plates, the commemorative version does have diamonds on either side. It's kind of a fake out to make it look like the plates can be removed. Where this one here on the $100 replica doesn't really have that, and I'm kind of glad that they didn't put it there to fake you out. So I give them a lot of props on that. All in all, this is an immensely awesome belt, and if you're on a budget and you can't spend $400 on a belt, or even $200 to $230 on a commemorative, this is probably the best way to go. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would consider getting a commemorative belt at some point, but for $100, and you can catch this for less than $100 if you really look around, this is amazing. Now, the leather quality is a little bit different from those on their actual more expensive replicas. It's more of a foam leather, like a polyurethane, so it is a little stiffer. But in all honesty, guys, it took me only about 3 or 4 days of just bending it around a little bit, just while watching TV for like 10-15 minutes a night, 20, while watching TV. And this belt has actually loosened up quite a bit just in those 3 or 4 days. I mean, take a look at this. When you flip it over onto your shoulder, it's very flush against the back. And quite frankly, I've seen people do reviews on the commemorative version, and they're not that flush against the back. All in all, I'm almost speechless when it comes to this belt. And quite frankly, I'm going to give it a 9.8 out of 10. This is the Metal Geek saying, have a great one.